Welcome to another episode of DD on the Spot. No need for an introduction, really. We have Hannah back on the podcast, longtime guest. And yeah, she's just on here to give us an update on what she's been up to and just talk all things health and fitness like we always do. But most importantly, she's our current guest. Hannah, thank you so much for coming back on.
Thanks for having me again.
Well, before we even get into your health and fitness, though, over this last year, we're talking to you. You're in Houston where the hurricane hit. So what has that been like? And I mean, yeah, I know we were supposed to do this earlier in the week, but then obviously you guys were without power. So what's that been like? And I know you made one post where you went to a gym that like didn't even have power on. So what's this whole week been like for you?
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't that bad. I feel really lucky because we didn't get it as bad as some people. Like up by my mom, they got it pretty bad. And then I have some friends from the gym that like they're still dealing with power outages now. But yeah, my gym, like the gym that I train at on a regular basis, Roman, they lost power, but they were nice enough to let us come, like let members come train. So it was so it was so hot. And so I started kind of gym hopping a little bit. The first time I trained over there without AC, like I had a headache for the rest of the day. I was so dehydrated. But it was still nice of them to like, let us try. But things are kind of normalizing now. The power's back on. Power's back on at my house. So it's all good. Yeah.
How weird was that to like work out in a gym without music or any other things just because they didn't have power?
It's not like because I've lived in Texas or Florida my whole life. That's kind of routine with hurricanes. I've trained several times at gyms without power because of a hurricane or a freeze. Like that one year, Houston had that weird freeze, and we lost power for like a week.
Freeze.
Yeah, well, yeah, our version of a freeze. It was really cold, but our power grid couldn't handle it, and so, um, but yeah, I'm kind of used by now. I'm kind of used to the drill, although it was exceptionally. I've never worked out at Roman without the power on because I'm still relatively new to it. And because it's a warehouse, it was like a sauna in there.
I will say that's the one thing fascinating that I learned about, especially Texas, when you guys did have that freeze a while back, is that most of the plumbing that you guys have is above ground, which is why it gets all messed up when it gets cold. Whereas you should learn like what we do up here, where everything is like 30 feet below ground, so that no matter how cold it gets, your plumbing and your heating is never gonna. Yeah, but I always pry at the people because whenever they have extremes down there, we just kind of laugh at it up here because we're so used to it. And then also the fact that I'm never have to deal with a hurricane. That is something that whenever someone gives crap about how cold it gets up here, I'll never say to them because I don't want to be mean, but I'm just thinking back in my head like, hey, at least we have that in there. But I mean, yeah, it's been a year since we last had you on. What have you been up to in your health and fitness?
The last time, what it was a year ago.
I think it was August. No, it was like March or April, I think, of last year that I had you on.
Was it before or after I got my pro card? Do you remember? I don't remember.
I should know this, but I don't. Let's
Okay.
just pretend that it was before you got your pro card. I think it might have
Okay.
been actually.
I'm trying to. I actually think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. I might have been in. I think I was in prep. Maybe it was before Arlington, like my qualifier. But let's pretend that we've not talked since then. I got my pro card. Um, and was really happy with it. Was really happy with the whole show. I got it in Pittsburgh, and so since then, I did not get feedback from the judges at that show because I feel like I already know what they were gonna say. Just I need to improve on everything, get bigger, leaner, all that kind of stuff. So I went into off season, which I'm still in now, and I'm probably gonna be until middle of next year. I think that's gonna give me enough time to put on the size that I want, bring up body parts that I have wanted to bring up. Like this year, I really wanted to bring my legs up, and I really wanted to bring my arms up, which I feel like I've done. Um, and so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Boring. Off season's kind of boring.
Explain one part about bodybuilding to me that isn't boring. If we're being completely 100% honest here, but what did you do differently for arms to get them to grow? How did you mix things up there?
I started training them 3 times a week instead of like twice a week, and then separating biceps and triceps. So I used to have like an arm day like once a week, where I would hit biceps and triceps. Now, I split those up so I can hit them a little bit harder. I feel like they've grown. I feel like
Yeah, they have. Look at that. Yeah, they have.
they've-
Yeah, we're not. That's hey, it's nothing. I mean, hey, and I'm the gym bro in me appreciates the fact that you now do arms 3 times a week because that's the way God intended it for everyone. If we're being clear, honestly, it's more like 5 days a week, but I'm not going to push anyone too hard onto that. But that's just my personal belief system. But when you were on that stage and they announced your name and you realized, oh my God, I'm a pro now. What was that moment like for you?
um, well, so because pre-judging, I already knew where I placed. They put me in the middle from the beginning. And they never moved me. So I was like, yes. So,
What if
like
they were playing like the cruelest joke of all time on you?
uh, um, but it was great. Like I went backstage and hugged my coach, and I had friends there. Like I had a couple friends that were competing at the same show in different divisions, and so it was great. It was a lot of fun.
How long did it take before you finally came down and you're like, okay, holy shit, I do have a lot of work to do now, though?
I mean, I knew immediately because the pro league is a whole different ball game. I knew even if I did get my pro card, that I was going to have work to do. So it wasn't a surprise. I knew that regardless of what happened, I was going to have work to do, and I mean, that's probably going to be the rest of my career in this. I'm never going to be like, okay, we're done, because I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. No, it's always constant improvement and constantly, judging yourself. And again, that's why you guys are secret psychopaths, but the good kind, where it's just, you just look at it and you're just like, God, they are crazy, but hey, they're not, stabbing people or anything like that. So that's a good part of it. But just this whole, I mean, I remember talking to you. I don't even know how many times we've had you on now because I've had so many people on for so many times. It might be like the fourth or fifth time, but like even from the first time, when you were first getting started in this, and if someone were to have told you like it would have taken you this long to become a pro, how would you have responded to that? Because some people like they get lucky with their first show, and then other people. I mean, I've talked to people that takes like 20 years, but if you would have known like ahead of time, like, hey, it's going to take a while, do you think that would have changed your opinion on competing?
No, because when I first like got into this after well, I mean, I think I told you about me getting into it in the first place. I didn't know anything about it, and then after I started to realize, you know, what it was, what everything it entailed. I wasn't like if you would have told me, hey, it's going to take you like over 5 years to get your pro card, it wouldn't have phased me. I would have been like, okay, well, what do I need to do for those 5 years? You know?
Yeah,
um,
that's the difference of bodybuilding, really. Yeah.
and it's not like I'm not really in a rush um, to meet my goals. Like, of course, I want to get there, right? But with bodybuilding, it's like you always have to realize that things are probably going to take a little bit longer than you expect, and to just be okay with it. Because if you're in a rush, I feel like you're in the wrong sport, you know?
Oh, and you're also going to endanger your life if you're in a
Yeah,
rush in this sport too, as well. This is the one sport where you should never be in a rush, honestly, in my opinion.
yeah. And I've done things to try to speed up the process, and it backfired. So I've learned from them, you know.
She was talking to me about those elephant growth hormones that she still takes to this day, behind the scenes. But no, I mean, and I appreciate that you're so open and honest about that. Like you made a post about it, and I had to repost it because it was just so upfront about like how people should be so much more informed before they get started on things and realize that it's different from person to person. And I'm glad that you're using your platform to share that because if even if it just helps one person, because I've heard so many stories back to back of just how things can be done so much better in this sport, and I agree with them. And I just think especially with your platform where you have so many people who follow you, I appreciate that you do that because honestly, I wish that more people would be like you.
That I kind of made that because I wished I would have had that when I got into this. Because when I got into this, I didn't really have social media. I had Facebook, and that's it. And the people that I knew that I was trusting to guide me were not open and honest about anything really, about what it could mean, the side effects, um, the risks that I was taking. They were kind of just telling me. I had one coach say it was impossible for me to get side effects from the dosage that he had me take. that's insane. You can get side effects from any dose, And so I was just kind of like, I wish somebody would have told me those things when I was getting into it.
That's what really makes me mad is if he says it's impossible to get any side effects. Yeah, again, like you said, like any dosage you can take it, but I mean, it's just yeah. I once I really did delve too deep into it, I get a little too angry though because I just think about just how many times that people have been betrayed in the trust. So again, everyone, do your background research on people, do your own research before you jump into anything because anything can happen too. And it's like I've talked to some people that they can take so much stuff and they have zero side effects at all, and then you talk to that one person who takes one thing for like one cycle and then they have so much stuff happen to them. So again, it's just like playing Russian roulette where you gotta know the risks ahead of time. And again, anyone that wants to know more about that, follow Hannah. She shares plenty of that stuff on her Instagram, and it's great that she does that. But and I mean, just this whole year in of itself too, with being a pro now, has there been any other, ways that you felt that you've grown as a person this last year, getting your pro card?
Um, yeah, I don't think being a pro really, like, it didn't really change much.
Well, do you have your belt now, your IFBB pro belt that you wear?
So somebody made that for me.
Okay.
Wait, does it say pro? It does. I don't think it says pro on it.
What the hell are you doing then?
I know, right? No, so the person that made my belt, I want to say he sent it to me before I got my pro card. It was like a sponsor kind of deal where he sent me a free belt and then I got some commission off of. But it was an awesome belt. I don't think it says pro on it though. Yeah, no, I don't have a belt that says pro yet. Um, I have a backpack and a keychain that they gave me.
Okay, can you explain to me, because I have tried to get from any guests that I like meet in person, I see them in the gym with their backpacks. What is the reasoning behind giving people backpacks? And like they give out swords too, which again I'm never gonna complain about that because that's cool as hell. Like giving out swords to people. I don't care if it's a spelling bee and you give out swords. I'm down for that. But what's the reason for the backpack? Is it just because they know you have a lot of crap to carry around, or like I feel like
I
that's a weird thing to reward people?
Yeah, I think it might be kind of some kind of sponsorship
Okay,
deal that they have with the Wolfpack or whatever, because they're always Wolfpack. I'm pretty sure it's just that. I'm pretty sure they just have some kind of deal with them. And then also everyone that goes to the gym usually uses a backpack, so it's useful.
I just have one of those like not backpacks, but like it's like a bag that you can kind of zip up and then you put it on your shoulders. I forgot what it's. When I walk, I use it, and then when I go to the gym now, which by the way, we are recording this the day before I turn 30, so don't even say it. Don't even say it, Hannah. Don't even say it. If you say it, I'm gonna hang up right now.
I was just gonna say how I can't say happy birthday.
No, because it's a bad birthday. No, I'm just kidding. You can say happy birthday, but just
It's
turning
not
30. Oh my
bad.
Oh my god, it's a nightmare. And I went out last night for the last time as a 20-year-old, and I did feel old, so that's a good sign. Like if I still felt young, I'd be a little concerned. Where I was like, oh yeah, these like 23, 24-year-olds, I still feel like them. No, you don't. Luckily I've grown out of that, so that's a positive thing that I learned there. But what advice do you have for people out there who might be turning 30? Because I know, I mean, what are you like 45, 46? No, I'm kidding. But what advice do you have for people turning 30?
It doesn't change anything. It doesn't like
I'm not gonna wake up tomorrow and just look completely different and just
oh,
feel different.
I mean your back's probably gonna hurt as soon as you wake up.
That's true.
No, it does like if you take care of yourself, I feel like it doesn't change anything other than you feel like you're old and you feel like maybe you stop liking the hip music now.
I mean, I did go to get a haircut a few months ago, as you can tell. It's been a while since that, and they found gray hairs on the side here, so I don't know. That was embarrassing. I was like, oh
They,
god,
uh,
silver fox. Yeah. So who knows?
you're probably gonna go gray early then.
This is
Being
start. This has started off great, everyone. I'm really happy that I decided to do this. I'm kidding.
Getting old is a privilege, and you know what? Guys always just y'all look more distinguished as you get older. You know what I mean?
I just don't want to be like a Steve Martin or a Brett Favre though, and like have it be like when I'm 35 and I have gray hair. Like wait until I'm like in my 40s and late
You
40s,
can
like early
always dye
50s.
it.
Yeah. No, okay, no. That's not you. You get your man card removed if you dye your hair. If we're being completely honest, like that's if you get caught at least. If you, I mean, you can do it as long as you do. But I honestly don't. I honestly don't really care as much. But
I think I've never seen a man with silver or gray hair that didn't look good.
yeah, that's true.
You know?
I'm just praying. God bless one of my uncles, but he was one of those unfortunate ones where it's bald, like right around here, and then everything else. So if that happens to me, if I have like a George Costanza look,
You
God
have
forbid.
a full head of hair. Stop worrying.
You never know. Everyone at some point in their life had a full head of hair. Remember that.
Not everyone.
That's true.
My stepbrother, no,
Oh God.
that he's never gonna listen to this.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He was never blessed with hair. So
So you got all the hair, and then you got all the muscles now. So God, everyone, sympathy for that guy, because God knows what he must be.
well, he's a stepbrother. We weren't.
That's true. That's true. Oh yeah, I forgot you said that. I thought you said half brother for a second. See, I get again. I'm a little hungover, everyone. So if I get a little mixed up here, then we're gonna be good here. But just, I mean, yeah, obviously when you're a pro, I ask that because obviously there's some idiots that I talk to, if I'm being completely honest, who say that like, oh, winning a pro card completely changed my life. I'm a whole new person. Where it's like, no, you're not. You just have a title that you put in front. Like you're a pro, like it's a good thing, but it's not like I. I don't know. It's not like you became like a parent or anything like that. Like when people talk about stuff like that, like they bring it up to like that event where it's like, no, you're a pro now. You compete in pro shows. It's a great achievement, but it's like, it's not like you're reborn or something like that. But so I appreciate you saying that like nothing really changed, but I just asked that because some guests take that way too far and they're like, oh my God, I'm a totally new person now. Everything's changed. And I'm like, you seem the same to me when I last talked to you. So
It didn't really change. I mean, I got some people reached out and wanted me to, like, some posing clinics reached out and was like, "Oh, you're a pro. Do you want to come like teach this?" And I'm like, that doesn't mean I was like, full disclosure, yes, okay, I'm a pro now, but that doesn't mean that I know how to teach, you know, posing. I don't think I'm bad at it, but so a couple opportunities like that where I didn't feel like I was really qualified, but they still wanted me on because I was a pro, which is fine. But yeah, I didn't like change my name on social media or anything.
well, you have enough followers as it is. You don't need to change your name, honestly.
Yeah, I just didn't feel the need to, because to me it's like putting like IFBB Pro in your name. Like I get like it's in my description, but putting it in your name, it's like putting college graduate in your name. I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, you're talking to someone who completely understands it. And yeah, but I don't even know if you can talk about this. I don't know if you signed like an NDA or anything like that, but weren't you supposed to be like in a movie? Did that ever come to be?
oh, there's no NDA. I can talk about it.
Okay.
So it's a short art film,
Okay.
and I have not done it yet. So it's going to be in August or September that I'll be going out there and filming that. Um, but yeah, it's really exciting.
Can you tell us the premise at all, or without like giving away spoilers or anything?
Um, yes, I don't think he cares. I mean, it is going to be
Again, I can edit this out too if like you talk to him and he says like, no, don't give away anything. Then I'll totally delete everything, so it's no big deal.
okay, I'll ask him just to be sure. But so I'm going to be playing like it's about I'm one of the main characters, and it's about a woman who is like reliving her past, and I'm the person that is guiding her through this. Um, in like a confidence kind of way. It's very artsy, and so I don't really know how to describe it in a way that's going to make sense. Like I have the whole script and it's pages and pages, um, but I think people will like it. I think, and I'm gonna put it on my social media and stuff. I'm probably gonna be promoting it for a while, like weeks leading up to it. So, and it's gonna be filmed really well. The director that's putting this together has done some amazing things. Like his photography and his videos are really really high quality.
Well, that's great. Do you know why he chose a female bodybuilder for this specific role? Does it like require that you were a female bodybuilder, or is it just because he saw you and thought that like, oh, you'd be really great at this part regardless?
He did want a muscular woman because it's supposed to represent her like confidence.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe it's like her subconscious, um, and it's supposed to represent like strength. And he was looking for a female bodybuilder with a specific look, like the pale skin and things like that. And so I stuck out to him, and then he reached out.
See, everyone, being as pale as we are can sometimes have its advantages. Normally it doesn't, but every once in a while, everything falls into place and it just comes to be. So yeah, that's great. And is this your first time ever like doing a like a film or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I've done like I've done like some cheesy things like wrestling stuff where I had to talk in it. I don't know if I would consider that like film, but yeah, this is gonna be the first time I've done something like this.
That's great. Yeah, obviously keep me posted on that. I can't wait to see the finished product. And I think, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. So, are you doing like a mini prep ahead of that or anything like that, or does he say like you have to be in like a certain amount of shape when you film it, or?
No, he actually, I actually asked that. That was one of the first things that I asked because I was like, I don't know if you how familiar you are with competitors, but we're, we're not.
What if he told you like let just show up as off season as possible?
He actually said he was like, "I love your off-season look. Let's stick with that because I'm not gonna be like I'm gonna be wearing a dress. So you're not gonna see my abs or anything like that anyway, or my lack of abs right now." So he was like, "I like the fullness that you have right now." So but I was happy with that. I was like, "Okay, cool," because I want to take as much as like I don't want to cut my off season short for something else other than when I compete if I don't have to.
I mean, unless it was like a major blockbuster that they offered you, then you're gonna
Yeah,
you're
then
gonna go on a goddamn prep. Okay,
whatever
let's
you
be
guys.
honest. Hey, and you never know. With everyone's careers, it always starts off with one thing, and if you get recognized, you get recognized. And yeah, I think you would be. I mean, obviously, I don't want to see your wrestling how you talked in those because I don't want to laugh. If I'm being completely honest, so
Yeah.
everyone gets better. Everyone gets better over time. If you look at my first podcast that I did compared to now, it's is light years ahead of time. So yeah, everyone always starts off at some place, but just in dealing with all the stuff that you get from like the offers from people and everything, how do you try to like sort people out and judge people's character, because it can be really hard, especially on the internet, when you don't like have conversations with people face to face to know if like someone has good intentions or not, because like as good as the offer could sound like, and obviously I'm not saying the guy's a creep or anything like that, but like it could have been a scenario where that happens.
Oh yeah. That's actually a really good question. And he's established, so he has websites. He actually went above and beyond to make sure I knew exactly what he was asking, exactly what he was looking for. Um, Sent me his references. Sent me his date, like his job, like his contacts. Um, we Skyped, and then he also requested that I bring somebody myself when I go do this, so I'm comfortable. And he's very professional. So his website is a legitimate website. Um, Things like that. So with him, um, because he had kind of went above and beyond all this, like immediately I knew that it was going to be a good idea, and I still, I still think it's going to be a good idea. Granted, I haven't went up there yet, but yeah, everything to me checked out. He is probably the only person that has went that like has well, with the exception of a couple of shoots that were had a specific nature to them that the photographer wanted to make sure I was 100% comfortable, and again asked me to bring somebody myself so I was comfortable. Gave me their contact information, their driver's license, things like that. Um, but with some people, I have turned down some things, some offers that there was no real specific reason other than it they did not come off as genuine to me. So people that have been like pushy, or companies that have been pushy, um, that one of the things that I ask, which is an automatic no. If they say I can't bring someone, if I say, hey, is it okay if I bring someone to the first shoot or whatever? And if they say no, if they make any excuse as to, oh, well, it's it's immediate no. Like, I'm not going to do it. That's kind of my vetting process is if they're super pushy, if they seem like they're dodging questions. And then if I say, can I bring someone, and they are either they don't immediately go absolutely, they're kind of hesitant, or they make an excuse, then it's a no.
So you're telling me someone ever says, no, Hannah, we're just going to be alone in a warehouse, just you and me, it's going to be, so everyone, yeah, obviously. And that's one thing that I've learned too is like, cause I'm doing some things now where like, if people are in the local area, I'll go and like film a workout with them or something like that, where obviously they don't have to bring a friend with because it's a public setting, but like if they want to, obviously, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's all about making the guests comfortable, people. That's one thing that they don't understand a lot of times when it comes to, getting people to either come on your show or do other things. It's like, just make the person comfortable. And that's 95% of the battle.
And I've had photographers that seemed like they had they had a decent following and a page, and they obviously had a studio where they asked me to come and shoot with them, and I was like, hey, is it okay if I bring someone? And they're like, oh no, well, I prefer if you didn't. It makes the shoots kind of awkward. No, it doesn't. I've been at shoots with photographers that I'm completely nude, okay, and this is a professional who is just looking for artistic shots, like doesn't make it weird at all, and he's like, bring whoever, as long as you're comfortable, bring whoever.
Bring your parents if you want to. I don't care.
I mean, but yeah, I've turned down photographers that were like, oh no, like I'd rather it just be to me that's really shady. Like why, anyway, if
No,
you're
yeah.
looking for yeah, if somebody's watching and they're trying to vet, people to work with, that's probably number one.
I mean, without going into specifics, what is the most artistic thing you've ever done where you're like, oh my God, this is so artistic?
Definitely with Jay Rusevich, and I'm sure you've seen his photos. They're most of the black and white ones that I've done.
Hannah, you post like 10,000 fucking photos, so I don't know what individual ones you're talking about.
But if you ever look at my stuff, it's usually the black and white photos. He's done most of those. But he is a true artist. Um, like just how his mind works. I don't know. Like I'll show up on set and he's like, "This is what we're doing," and it'll be like he's gonna blow my hair and dump a bucket of water on me. It's just,
That's just a fetish, everyone. Let's be. No, I'm just kidding.
No, well, he actually he started in landscape, so he's done like books. He's traveled the world with photography, and but it's really interesting how his mind works and like the ideas he comes up with. Um, but yeah, it's like it's so different from the fetish shoots, because I've done that before.
Trust me. Of all the guests I've talked to, it's more have than haven't. So yeah, it's obviously but it's hey, it's a part of the. For a lot of people, it's just a part of it, and I have. As long as people are safe and comfortable and they enjoy themselves, I have no problem with it. But once it gets to be on the creepier side, that's when I start to have a problem with it. But that's just, but if there was one photo that has been taken of you that like you could have on your gravestone or like anything to remember you by, what would be the one photo that you would choose?
Definitely one of the ones that Jay did. Probably one of the most recent ones, because mostly because it was we both came up with the idea where he wanted a theme, and then I actually made the outfit that I'm wearing. So it's like a good memory, and it was a good photo. I don't know. I'll try to find it for you.
Oh, no problem. And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But I'm just curious, like, how long did it take for you to become comfortable doing like nude shoots? Because I know a lot of people like they would just imagine that and they'd get like anxious and scared. Or was it something that you didn't really have that much of a problem with once? Obviously, we're working with the professional guys, but or did it take you a while before you got like fully comfortable having nude photos?
It took me a little while. I don't know exactly when I started becoming comfortable with it, but now I'm like, it doesn't phase me at all. Like sometimes I forget I'm naked.
Thank God that has an iPad on here, everyone, because that would be.
But I think it was just I've worked with really good photographers. Like I've been really lucky in the sense that the photographers that I've worked with, I've never really worked with anyone who has made me uncomfortable. Like I said, I've gotten messages and offers from photographers that have made me uncomfortable, but obviously I turn them down. So the ones that I've worked with have all been amazing. And so if we are going to go down that route, they make it very comfortable for me. They make sure, any worries of mine are put to ease. So um, I think that helped a lot, just working with really good people. And then the fact that I don't, like, by nature, I don't have a problem with being naked in front of camera. It just took getting used to it. It's like swimming for the first time. Of course, it's gonna, you're gonna be like uncomfortable until you get good at swimming, right?
Well, and I mean, with all the stuff that you do and all the content that you post, do you ever find it hard for, especially like when you're meeting people in real life, to get them to see past like your look? Like, obviously, you look incredible with your body and everything, but do you ever find it hard for people to be able to look past the fact that like you're a bodybuilder and like you do all this other stuff, or is it something that isn't as hard as I would maybe imagine it to be, or is it still, you have times where you're like, it's really hard to get people to like know the real me?
Um, I actually don't know. I think it depends on. I think it depends on the person asking the questions. Because I think that the people that have like tried to get to know me, um, learn pretty quick that I mean that it is a big part of my life, and it is me, but it's not, I'm not just that.
You're not just constantly working out.
Yeah, and part of it is you learn to rest, right? Like so, um, yeah, I don't feel like most people have just pegged me as a bodybuilder. Like I feel like the people that enjoy that aspect of like so say somebody that follows me or subscribes to me or something, they definitely enjoy it, but I don't feel like I've been pigeonholed into this, if that makes sense. Um in some aspects, maybe in the real world I do, because um when I go somewhere that's very different, for example, like that has nothing to do with fitness, I do feel a little bit out of my element because, like, say, okay, I went to a wedding not that long ago.
Oh God.
Do feel a little bit out of my element just because, like, I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't like those kind of things aren't exactly fun to me. Like what the things that other people find fun and like talk about, like what they do as hobbies and stuff. Um, I have a hard time relating. Does that make sense?
If I was there, I'd literally just pick you up and hold your mouth open, and we'd force that alcohol down. We're gonna make Hannah have a fun time tonight. Now, no, I get it too. You're dedicating your lifestyle, and a lot of people, they just don't understand the dedication and that goes with it. And then also, so yeah, it can at times seem like you're a little bit more of an outsider too. And I mean, especially because a lot of times with people, they aren't just able to see past the way that a lot of people look, and then just realize that like, hey, that's an actual person down below. So, what is your favorite thing to do when you're doing rest days? And if
Nothing.
you say meal prep, I swear to God.
No, I don't like meal prep. I hate meal prepping actually. I use I use Pro Meals, so I get my stuff delivered most of the time. My favorite thing to do on a rest day is literally nothing. I love doing nothing or playing Ark with my siblings on Xbox.
Never played that one before. What's Ark?
It's like a dinosaur game. It's really glitchy. And so it's like a survival game. Dinosaurs are constantly trying to eat you.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I'm a
Yeah,
little bit, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I've seen some videos on it actually, where yeah, you can like build weapons and stuff and like shoot. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I
We've
get that.
been playing that a lot. But yeah, that's my favorite thing to do
Have you
on.
ever thought about Twitch streaming?
I have actually.
Okay.
Um, I don't have it. I have not done it yet. I don't have a Twitch account. How does that even work? Like you just like it's like a FaceTime and
It
they
would be
watch.
like we're doing right now, and you could literally just be playing your game, and then like your game would be like in the corner screen, like, or you could switch it where you'd be in the corner screen, then your game would be playing, and then yeah, people just apparently they just give you tips if they really like what you're doing. It's kind of like it's I don't get it, but hey, I know I have a friend of mine that does it, and I mean, obviously it's not his full time job, but he does pretty well on it, and I know a lot of people get joy. I mean, I've never understood why watching another person play a video game is worthwhile when you could just be doing it yourself. But hey.
Well, one, I'm not very good. Like, I'm okay, but I'm not very good. And so they're just gonna hear me cussing.
Hannah, you're not going to be judged on how good you are at the video game. If we're going to be completely honest, you know how people are going to say, "Oh my God, it's Hannah on here." We're just going to see her just to be with her. That's what it's good. That's what's going to be. Okay.
It then, and I'll just cuss at the dinosaurs when they eat.
That's when you got to dress up in like the shabbiest clothes, though, like everything covered up, like dress long sleeves, like no one sees anything, and then you know who your real fans are.
I don't know how well that would work out, but
I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, if you just dress up in like a shawl basically and just had everything, you're like, hey guys, you should do that. One of your Halloween costumes should be like you dress up like a nun, just for laughs.
oh my God.
Just post about it and say like, I'm going in a different direction, everyone. Like,
Yeah, things.
that would be so funny to do. But just as you've done more and more this last year too, are you still like for body parts that you still want to work on? Is it still arms and lower body? Have you moved on to other things that you're looking forward to next year?
So right now I'm still we're going into like a split where we're trying to hit everything equally to make everything grow. Um so and oh, I actually don't think I um did I don't I still don't remember the last time we spoke, but so I switched to something that I haven't done my entire competitive career, which was um, I get labs done every 6 months. Um, and one of the things that, like, I have hypothyroidism. One of the things that have constantly came up on my labs is I have low IGF-1. Um, and so I've never actually taken GH before. Like, my doctor prescribed me um, like a it was like a it wasn't actually growth hormone, it was something else, but it never got my labs up to normal range, right? It was never able to do that. So that's one of the things that I've done this year. That I've actually for the first time in the years that I've had all my labs done, that my IGF-1 is actually in normal range, which has been so nice. I feel like I feel like it's kind of been a game changer as far as like it's increased my appetite. It's made training seem to me it feels better. Um, so we've kind of been leaning into that and switched some things around that like just doing small things that I have not done in previous off seasons. And I feel like I this is probably the best I've looked in an off season. I'm not too fat right now.
Well, that's up for debate right there. No, I'm joking, of course, but
But you called me old, and now you're calling me fat. You know what?
I'm trying to make myself feel better. Okay, I'm about to turn 30, and and hey, I'm not in the best shape right now too, but I am getting actually a gym membership tomorrow because I used to just go to a place like every once in a while. But now, after spending like 4 years of not working out because of COVID and other things, and I just had so much other stuff on my plate, I am taking it more seriously now. So starting tomorrow, I'm actually getting back. And now, normally I've been training probably like once a week now for the last like year or two, but not nearly enough. But I'm getting back to the 4 to 5 times a week, and actually, the goal, I'm at 210 right now, and my goal is to get down to 190 by the time I have my wedding next year, which is going to be around either July or August around this time. So it's a reasonable goal. I'm not going to be one of those guys we're going to be like, dude, I'm going to put on like 30 pounds of muscle and just get yoked and stuff. It's like, no, you got to start with baby steps and be reasonable about it. But like, let's be honest, your body is your calling card. Especially, how do you deal with the fact that like when you're that well known for the way that you look and you're not going to look like that all the time, like how do you accept that mentally when you realize that like so many people judge you based on the way that you look?
It used to bother me, now it doesn't. Like, um, I used to have a hard time posting or even taking pictures in the off season, because it was a mind. Um,
It was a mind
now
fuck. You can say it.
it was a mind fuck. But now it's like I have people that, of course, like I get everything, right? People will call me fat in the off season. It is what it is. If you think I'm fat in the off season, fine. And bodybuilder fat, maybe. But I have some people that really like my look in the off season, and I don't hate it. You know, like just if I were to remove everyone else's opinions, I don't hate the way I look in the off season. You know, do I prefer having abs? Yes, but it, I also there's like an element of being in off season of being softer that I do like. You know, so really like comments, you know, being judged on my physique. And if it's genuine, like if someone is like a fan of the sport and they're like they actually have it an honest critique, they're like, "Hey, I think you would look better if you brought this up," right? That doesn't bother me at all. Um, because it doesn't, you know, it depends on what it comes from. Like if it's coming from a place of they're just trying to hurt me and just like hurt my feelings, you know, I'm not going to pay much attention to it, you know? And like it doesn't really it does in my mind it doesn't matter cuz you know, I'm doing this to compete. Well, one because I like it, right? But if I want to continue to compete, I have to take what the judges tell me, but you know, to heart and not what everyone else. It's too much noise to listen to everybody, right? So I've kind of just it kind of just doesn't phase me anymore.
Has there been one insult though that like sticks to your core where like even you were like impressed that you're like, oh my god, that's like a great insult? Like you're not, I'm not gonna lie, because like everyone always feel like has that one insult where they're like, I'm not even mad, like that's a great insult.
Um, that's a good question. They're usually I don't think I've gotten like a super creative one.
Well, I talked to a British guest one time and they had a guy walk up to him on the street and say, "You're an embarrassment to look at." And that right there, just that cuts you to your core, right? That's a British insult if I've ever heard one, where it's like it's just so specific, where it's just like I'm an embarrassment to look at. Like holy, like that's one that like that'll sting you later that night when you're just like, what the hell, like that. Yeah.
I've never I've never gotten that. Uh,
Yet.
somebody did say that my calves were small, which I don't think my
Oh
calves.
God.
But I was like, okay, I didn't respond to it, but that one was like, I was like, wait, but my calves aren't small.
From a guy with small calves, yeah, that's the Achilles tendon right there, where you just everything just slowly collapses after that. And what I mean, when we do have you on again, I'd love to have you on in another year. Where would you like to be at in your bodybuilding? Where would you like to be at in your overall life? What are some goals that you'd like to have achieved?
Um, so it depends on when we talk. If it's over a year from now, hopefully be doing like getting ready to or in the midst of making my pro debut. My goal with that is to um, look well. Obviously, to win my first, it would be awesome to win my first pro debut, right? But to look like be undeniable, basically. And then in life, just keep doing as much of the photo shoots and opportunities that I can, you know.
Do you have like an end goal of when you might step away from bodybuilding in mind, like 5 years, 6 years, or or are you not even like thinking about that now?
I've not really thought about that. As long as I'm enjoying it, I don't have uh any intentions of stepping away.
Even when you do go from 42 to like 52?
I mean,
I
maybe
could see you being like the 160-year-old that like I always have some 60-year-olds on. I could see you eventually doing that in about 10 years. So yeah. I'm joking, everyone, of course. I only say that because I've told Hannah this in private myself too, that like she is one of the more beautiful guests that I honestly think should be marketed way more than it is. Like you should be one of the poster childs of the sport, because just to get people to do that. So I can insult her like that because deep down I know that like she is one of the more marketable ones that like, yeah, you need to have her on more stuff, because
and we have been friends for a while, so
that
it's a
too. That too. Yeah,
that's how
honestly.
they're supposed to be. We're supposed to make fun of each other.
Oh, exactly. You and your small calves, and me and my my larger everything, and yeah, so it's
And your gray hair. Yeah.
that's taking it too far. That's punching down. On it, no, that's punching up for you because you're shorter, so you're like you're punching up. But so,
Create.
do you ever find that like people's reaction is shocked though when they do meet you in person and realize that like you're not that tall and like they realize they just see someone that's like so big but like they're short? Because whenever I go to a show, like that's the most shocking thing for me is you see them walking around and so, they almost, I'm not gonna say munchkins, but they look like they're just so short and you're just like, what the hell's going on here?
Okay, yes, everyone that has met me, and like I have some friends now that have we originally met like online, and then we met each other like at a show or something, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're a midget." One of them actually calls me midget, um, because they think I'm tall from pictures and stuff like that, and then they're like, "Oh, you're fun size. You're so small." Like I'm 5'2". But yeah, no, I get that all the time where people are like, "Oh, I thought you'd be taller." That's the nice way, and then they're like, "Oh my God, you're a midget." Is the mean.
I mean, yeah, I met a guest, Shannon Lee, who I've had on a couple times here, and she's 60 years old, but she does physique and figure, and she saw me, and this is the first time I met her because she went to the show to um support a friend, and she was from like far away, so she took a plane right here. But and I said, "Oh, hey Shannon," and then she came over. "Oh, Ryan, oh my God." Hugging her felt like hugging like a second grader basically because like I'm like a full like foot and 2 inches taller than her, but then she's like jacked too, so it's really weird. But like, yeah, I always find that fascinating when you finally meet them and you're just like, I've said this a million times, like, God, I could bounce you like a basketball if I wanted to. But like, it's just, again, it's a cool, and then especially some of the guys too, where like they're a little bit on the short side too when you see that. But it's again, it's a more, I think, a body type more developed. Where and then you have like someone who like Christina Nolly, who's 6'1", like 220 pounds, who I think is gonna like take over the sport in a couple of years. Where do you know who that is? I
No.
made a post about her recently. I could send you her thing, but like I be on the watch out for her at least because 6'1", 220 pounds, and she's like, yeah, that's all. That might be a case where like the judges don't even know how to judge it, honestly, because like you're so much bigger than everyone else on the stage, where they're just like, yeah, if you're like a full like 6 inches, but yeah, it's, and again, I mean, Hannah, it's always a delight to have you on and talk to us. And I always look forward to talking to you. And if you're ever in the Minneapolis area and you want to embarrass me for a workout, I guess I'll be more up to that. But yeah, and again, thank you so much for coming back on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and happy birthday.
Oh God! All right, everyone. This is Ryan Johnson, DD on the spot, signing off. Have a great day, everyone.